Sim, verdade. Eu lembro. Hi, guys.
Well, Shogun, certainly you guys had a history of great fights, but did you think that he had another great battle like that in him ready to go?
Grandes lutas. Você imaginava que teria uma luta tão dura de novo com ele, uma guerra?
Yes, I coming for here for fight and one more war, Nogueira a little, because I know he's very top guy, very top fighter, and your game is very aggressive fight, is box, and my game is Muay Thai, and every fight is war, a little Nogueira.
We can see the damage, obviously. I mean, how hurt were you? He landed some very solid shots, it seemed.
A gente pode ver um pouco os machucados na sua cara, o quão machucado você estava ou não. Ele botou alguns golpes duros em você durante a luta.
Yes, he's very strong. His punch very strong in my face, but eu consegui assimilar e consegui me manter firme na luta.
Fala do nariz também, que você assou o nariz.
Ah, sim. E também eu suei meu nariz e inchou meu olho por causa da lesão.
Yeah, he's a very strong fighter, very tough fighter. He landed some good blows. It was hard, but thankfully I was able to withstand the punches, the pressure. And also I made a mistake of blowing my nose in between rounds, and then my eye got swollen.
So as far as the score goes, how did you and your team have it? Did you think you had done enough, or were you worried that you might come up short?
Em relação ao placar, você e a sua equipe acreditavam que você tinha ganho a luta ou você estava meio na dúvida, meio com medo da decisão?
Yes, my coach, the final, the first round, my coach say, you win, but maybe Nogueira win, but Eduardo, Rafael Cordeiro and Danilo say for me, I win. And I win.
Fair enough. It looks like this may be his last fight. If that was his last fight, how special is it for you to be a part of that legacy?
Parece que essa é a última luta dele. Se essa realmente é a luta dele, o quão especial para você foi fazer parte desse legado dele da última luta?
I'm very happy for finish Carreira Nogueira here for your final fight. I'm very happy, and he is very top guy and very top fighter. I respect him, and I'm very happy for this moment in your career, in your life.
And last thing for me, you said you just got a couple left. So what do you think? What makes sense? Are there names? Are there a number of fights? What do you see as the plan?
E em relação à tua carreira, você disse que só tem mais 2 lutas aí talvez para fazer. Já tem alguma coisa em mente? O que você pensa para frente? Quais são os seus planos?
I'm back in Brazil now for my family. I miss my family, and I relax. And I talked to my manager Eduardo for my next step.
Shogun, did it cross your mind think that this could also be your last fight, or is that an option you don't consider it?
Shogun, passou na sua cabeça também que essa poderia ser a sua última luta, ou isso em nenhum momento passou na tua cabeça?
No, I want 2 or 1 more fight, and yesterday 2 or more 3. Now I think I've more 2 fights and I finish.
Do you have someone in mind that you would like to be your next fight?
No, I don't have idea. I'm back in Brazil now, and I don't want to think in fight now. I want to relax and relax with my family, my friends, my team. And 1 week I talked to Eduardo, my manager, for next step.
I know you just said that you don't want to think about it, but Paul Craig was here a few minutes ago and he said he still wants that rematch. Is that an option you would like to face next?
Yes, this is very option. I want this fight too. I think this fight 1 more time.
You had 3 wars with Little Nog. Which one do you think was the best one?
The first. Because my opinion, the first time Nogueira is the top 5, the best for all the time.
And final one, what still drives you to continue fighting?
O que te motiva a continuar lutando?
My fans, my family is my more motivation for me. In my fans, because I have many fans because I fight a long time, and my fans for me is more full for continuation in the fight. Valeu, Gui.
Aqui. Como que você se sente depois de ganhar 3 vezes de um lutador desse porte?
Eu fiquei muito feliz, porque muitas pessoas me perguntavam por que eu aceitei essa luta, né? Sabendo que eu estava com 2 vitórias já, né? E geralmente a trilogia é quando está 1 a 1, né? E eu aceitei essa luta porque eu sabia que se eu vencesse, era mais um passo na minha carreira importante. Então, eu acho que eu venci 3 vezes uma lenda, que é o Rogério. Então, acho que para minha carreira isso é um passo a mais para minha carreira.
Question was, how does he feel about winning 3 times against such a tough opponent? And his answer is that, he was very happy because he respects Little Nog a lot. He's a legend. And he accepted the fight. A lot of people ask him, why would you accept a fight against a guy that you already won twice? And he said that I accepted the fight because I knew this would be important for my legacy. If I was able to win, it would be another huge step in my career. And I'm very happy, thank God, that everything came out well and I got the win.
Essa semana o Minotauro também falou que ele estava... Eu perguntei a diferença dele do passado e de agora. Ele falou que estava vindo com a mão mais pesada. Queria saber se você confirma.
Question is, I asked Little Nog about what's the difference between tonight's Little Nog and the other fights Little Nog, and he said that he thought he had a heavier hand now, a harder punch, and she wants to know if Shogun agrees.
Nas 3 lutas eu senti a mão dele, né? Mas, graças a Deus, nessa luta eu não levei nenhum knockdown. Eu senti a mão, fiquei grog, mas eu não cheguei a levar o knockdown, né? E, com certeza, eu sabia que ele ia vir preparado, porque nós já tínhamos lutado 35 minutos já, né? 15 minutos no UFC e 20 no Pride. Então, do mesmo jeito que eu conheci melhor o jogo dele, ele também me conhecia melhor, né? Então, eu estava até curioso para saber como que ele ia lutar, né? Sabendo que ele lutou comigo 2 vezes anteriormente, né? Mas, graças a Deus, eu consegui a vitória. Mais uma vitória, graças a Deus.
Shogun says that... Well, actually, I felt his punches in all of our fights, so I guess he always hits hard and always hit her hard. And thank God this time I didn't got a knockdown. I just felt the punches sometimes and got dizzy and was able to recover. And o que você falou depois? Você falou que sentiu a mão algumas vezes.
Levei no knockdown na última vez.
Sim, depois. Well, it was a long answer, but basically...
I'm tired.
No, yeah, but basically what he said is
many punches. Sorry.
Now I remember. He said that, but he was very curious to see how the fight would unfold. Himself, he was curious because they had fought already 35 minutes before, 20 minutes in Pride and 15 minutes in the UFC. And so they know each other very well. And I might add that they also did a training camp for a fight that didn't happen back in 2013. That got canceled like 2 weeks out. So they know each other better than any fighters, right? And so he was curious knowing that Little Nog came in, having fought him for 35 minutes and having lost 2 times, what changes would he made? What little tweaks and how would it unfold? But thank God everything worked out well and he's very happy that he got the win.
Minha última pergunta, já pensando um pouquinho mais no futuro, né, quando você decidir pendurar as luvas, num cenário ideal, onde e quando você gostaria de fazer a sua última luta?
Last question for me, coming to your last fight, when you decide to hang up your gloves, when and where, in an ideal scenario, would you like to have the fight?
Eu não penso ainda na minha última luta, local, data, nada ainda. Como eu disse, agora eu só penso em voltar para casa, descansar e depois eu penso como empresário o próximo passo. E eu espero ter um emprego no UFC quando parar de lutar como embaixador e continuar fazendo aquilo que eu amo, que é estar junto no UFC e da luta.
Well, to be honest with you, I really don't know. I'm not thinking about fights. I want to go home, like I said, and relax with my family, so it's too early to think about that kind of thing. And to be honest with you, and also very sincere, I I really want and hope to have a job with the UFC later on when I retired as an ambassador of the sport and continue to do what I love, which is be involved with fighting in the UFC.
Maurício, aqui. Queria que você avaliasse a sua performance. Pelo que você treinou, pelo que você esperava, você já tinha enfrentado o Minotauro 2 vezes. Saiu tudo como você imaginava? Alguma coisa te surpreendeu?
Mauricio, I would like you to evaluate your performance based on what you train. You already fought Little Nog twice, so everything unfolded the way you thought, or how do you evaluate your performance?
Não, o Rogério me surpreendeu. Eu conheço bem o jogo dele, ele conhece bem meu jogo. A gente estudou muito, a gente lutou 2 vezes, era para lutar em maio, foi para julho. E eu sei que ele gosta de esperar eu começar a luta para ele tirar o tronco e voltar com o direto dele. E agora eu posso falar, né? E eu treinei muito isso, mas eu estava curioso para saber como que ele ia vir, porque ele também passou a me conhecer mais, né? Porque ele lutou comigo 2 vezes, estudou muito o meu jogo, mas ele me surpreendeu, sim. Eu sei que ele treinou muita defesa e queda, porque na última luta as minhas quedas roubaram um round. Então eu tentei variar as minhas quedas para tentar surpreendê-lo também. E graças a Deus consegui ser feliz.
Well, yeah, he surprised me a bit. Like I said, we have fought a lot already, so he knows me very well. And now I can talk about it. I know he's always looking for me to come in so he can evade and pull out of my punches and respond with his left hand and connect like that. So I already trained for that. I knew he would be looking to do that. But I also knew that he would be adapting and improving his takedown defense, because in our last fight I stole rounds with takedowns and all that. So I tried to vary my takedowns and change things, mix up a little bit. So we worked on that to be able to surprise him. He was good. He surprised me in some things, but thank God I'm very happy that we were able to do the adjustments and make it work and get the decision.
E sabendo que o Minotauro é personagem tão importante na tua história, né, por tudo que vocês viveram dentro do cage. Se uma pessoa que não é do mundo das lutas chega e pergunta quem foi o Rogério Minotauro, como é que você definiria ele?
Knowing that Little Nog is a very important character in your story, if somebody who's not from the fight world comes to you and asks, who is Rogério Little Nog, what would be your answer?
A gente lutou no começo da nossa carreira, meio e fim, né? E eu tenho muito carinho pelo Rogério e pelo Rodrigo. São 2 pessoas que eu admiro muito como pessoas e como lutadores. E são 2 pessoas que todo mundo gosta deles. E eu sempre respeitei muito o Rogério, mesmo a gente não nos enfrentando tanto, mas eu sempre respeitei ele e sempre tive muita admiração por ele como atleta e como pessoa. Então, se alguém me perguntar quem foi o Rogério, com certeza eu vou dizer que foi uma grande lenda e um exemplo a ser seguido.
Well, we fought in the beginning of our careers, early in our careers, then we fought in the middle of our careers, and now late stages of our careers. So I really have the biggest respect for Little Nog. I'm very fond. I have a lot of fondness for both the Nogueira brothers, Big Nog and Little Nog. They're great people, even though we don't see each other often or anything like that, but I really respected and like them a lot. And if somebody comes to me and asks, who was Little Nog, I would say he is a legend of the sport, a great guy, a great fighter, and was a great rival to me.
E para fechar, sabendo que essa foi a última luta dele no MMA, você teria alguma mensagem para ele?
Knowing that this was his last fight in MMA, would you have any message for him?
Tenho, inclusive eu falei para ele já no octógono lá em cima, que eu sei que ele está se dedicando agora como palestrante, e eu tenho certeza que ele vai ser um cara super requisitado como palestrante, porque ele tem a história dele da luta. Então ele já é um cara top como palestrante, e eu tenho certeza que ele vai melhorar cada vez mais. E eu dei para ele os parabéns e tenho certeza que ele vai ser uma pessoa fenomenal como palestrante.
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I told him right there in the octagon after the fight. I congratulated him and I wish him the best of luck. He is now going into a corporate speech and lecturing business where he is doing a lot of good work already. And I told him that I know he's going to succeed on that. He's going to be very successful with that, because he's a great guy, he's a great professional, he does well in everything he does, and I can only thank him, and I'll be hoping for the best for him.
Finish? Guys, thank you very much.
Dude, I know it's still pretty fresh right now, and didn't get the result you want, but obviously a phenomenal fight.
Yeah.
So what's the emotion like for you right now?
You know what? I've never felt like this after a loss. I feel okay. It was tough. It was probably one of the toughest fights I've been in. It was just so mentally stressful. Such a chess match. Neither guy wants to throw, and every time we threw to knock out. And I think I caught him more than he caught me with the power. About 3 or 4 times there, he was gone first round especially. But I think it was probably about 2-2 going into the 5th, and then I think maybe the judges might have scored the takedown, but I was getting back up after every time, so maybe that nullified it. I don't know how it works. It was a close fight against the former champ. I'm up there. I've showed how clinically good I am at striking. And I don't just say striking. A lot of these guys, and even Whittaker said it, I've only got a left hand. Well, if I've only got a left hand and I'm at this level, that's worse for the guy fighting me, because they've got everything. I've just got this whole left hand and I get everyone with it. So I'm okay. I am okay.
I know the last thing you want to do is come in and make some excuses or anything like that. Was there some issues with your leg? With it?
You know what? I don't like to sit here a lot, and I'm not that type of guy, excuses, but I have to give credit to Rob in the second round. He knee stamped me like I did to Stephen Thompson. They should be illegal now. And it just blew me knee. My knee just went under me, crashed, and I couldn't. That was it then for the whole fight. I just had to stay static and sort of just fight on it. I hit the pain. I don't think he recognised, but I was still in there. I'm not trying to sit here and say, oh, my knee gone, whatever. Maybe it just stopped me bouncing a bit. But, it was a real good fight. I feel like I won it. I feel like we both won the fight. I'm not saying I feel like I won it. We both won. It was a clinically great match.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. When you say your knee's gone, do you think you got some damage? Is there surgery ahead, do you think?
Probably going to get a little bit of surgery now, but that's nothing. It's nothing. I want to get back in the gym. Maybe I'll fix that, get back in the gym, and there's millions of fights out there for me. I'm one of the top guys in this organisation, and I'm going to continue to be. So.
Yeah. Last thing for me, I was going to ask kind of what you do see for yourself, because I think it is an interesting position, right, where you lost, but again, I think both your guys' stock.
I'm just happy there's a monster here right now.
Usually it's an empty can. You actually got a real one.
I'm addicted to this shit. Fucking carry on. What was the question? Sorry.
I was just saying. So where do you go from here? Because like you said, it's a loss, but I think it's a lot different than the last ones, as you said. I don't think anybody lost respect for you or thought that oh my gosh, there's questions. So what do you see as next for yourself?
There's a few fights there. if Rob doesn't get a title shot, I'd love to go to New Zealand or something and fight Rob again. You know what? I really enjoyed the fight with him. I was 5th for 5 rounds. That's all thanks to my coach Colin and my team and my family and you know, my close friends. And Colin gets me ready for every fight, and I was ready for this fight. And you know, I just maybe I lacked a few things that we worked on in the gym, and it's a little bit disappointing. But you know, I say this year convincingly, I'm going to be a champion. Just, you know, these are all just little walls that you face. But it's not like I lost that I'm thinking, you know, either man could have won that fight tonight. I was the guy, I was the more powerful guy. I was landing the more powerful shots. Rob was the busier guy. That's just sometimes how the fight is. Some judges could see that the power shots maybe win the fight, and then other judges like tonight seeing that the busier fighter won the fight. So I just think we both won. He obviously won, but in my mind we both won.
All right, Darren. In the 5th round, he got those takedowns at the end, which you mentioned you were getting up. Right before that, Herb Dean stopped the action. But can you explain why he did that?
I think he poked me in the eye. I can't remember.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it was 2-2 going in the 5th, and then maybe the takedowns. But I don't know, what did he call? Did he call takedowns when you get him back up? Because it's a takedown when he stabilises the position. He didn't. I was just getting back up and back up. So I don't know. Maybe it seems like work rate for the judges, and he, you know, maybe he edged the 5th. But it is what it is, as Max Holloway would say.
After the fight, he actually went on TV and said it was the most mentally stressful fight he's ever had. Yeah,
it was stressful. It was really stressful. If it was 3 rounds, it'd be easier. But it was a stressful fucking fight. Like, the pain's nothing. The pain's nothing. Like, he hit me with some cracker shots on the chin, and I just ate them, and I said, come on. And obviously my knee in that 2nd round, perfect knee stamp, you know. And now that I've felt it, instead of giving it out, they definitely should be illegal. But do you know what? Whatever, innit? The pain didn't hurt. It was the stress, like mental levels of stress, because it's like you're just both standing there and you're like, oh, we both know what we were going to do, but who's going to get it fit? I remember my old sparring days with Terry Etam. Same thing, me and Terry, such a chess match in the gym, and that's what I like. I like a stressful battle like that.
You guys were talking in the cage after the fight. Was that just exactly what you guys were saying?
Yeah, you just we just got so much respect for each other as competitors, and we were just like, he was, in particular, he was just like that, and that was so stressful. He was like, you nearly finished me in the face. You're like, you shut me lights completely out. He was like, that elbow. He was just crediting me, and I was crediting him, obviously. Listen, I'm taking it as a win for myself as well. I've showed me level. I'm up there. I'm only my 2nd fight in the middleweight division. I'm already right there. You know, I'm one of the top guys, and I'm going to continue to be one of the top guys.
Last one from me. Speaking of where you are in the middleweight division, I don't know if you've seen Israel Adesanya's tweet about you yet.
No.
He said, I still want to fight till one day. His striking is beautiful. Stay up, Darren.
Haha. Another good friend. I'm going to have to lay off DMing him for a while. All I do is screaming videos to him and the Instagram message. But I've got a lot of respect for Israel. I think he's a great fighter. You know what? This is no disrespect to him. I think he's probably an easier fight for me than Rob, because we both had that. We'd probably have a great striking battle. Rob's a bit different because he mixes it up. I know Israel. Israel's the champion. He's a great MMA fighter, but he's a pure striker. I think we'd have a great fight. Rob mixed it up a little bit, and he's wild. He's wilder than me, Rob. Like, he'll lunge with his head and he'll try and look for. Like, he caught me with some cracker shots, and I was just eating them like just for breakfast. Not at welterweight, because you know, but yeah, we're gonna fight. Listen, me and Israel are gonna fight one day. Just give me a little bit of time. I'll come back. I'll knock someone out, and we'll fight. Don't worry, I'm still at the top.
Darren, just a quick one from me. Why did you choose to walk out with no song this time?
It just didn't seem necessary. Sweet Caroline is for the fans, and it just didn't seem necessary. It was just, everything was different, so I wanted to be different as well. No music, get in there, fight 5 rounds and come out, and that's it. So I just didn't feel like any music. It just.
Did you feel weird fighting without fans?
Not really. What was good is I heard what my coach said, was saying things. He actually kept saying bouncy, be bouncy, And I was thinking, I can't fucking bounce, my knees fucked. But it was just a fight. It's just a fucking fight. It's good when the fans, because I think if fans would have been there, maybe I could have won the fight, because every shot I landed was powerful shots, and, you know, they make noises. But as again, Max Holloway, it is what it is.
Hi, just a quick one for me, but it's going to be in Portuguese, just to make you use a little bit of Portuguese.
Tá bom.
Queria saber se você pensa em descer de categoria e voltar para o 7-7.
Não, agora não. Dia sim, eu consigo bater para uma vez. Depende de quem, contra quem, né? Vai ser pelo dinheiro. Vai ser pelo dinheiro grande luta no 7-7. Mas mais para frente. Agora eu quero ganhar o título no 8-4. Aí se eu ganho o título, talvez eu desce para disputar contra o campeão 7-7.
Obrigada.
The Gorilla. You've had 2 fights now at middleweight. Wanted to know if you felt the difference in the power from the welterweights and the middleweights that you fought.
I think the welterweights have probably got more power because I got knocked out by one. So I just fought 2 massive strikers in the middleweight division, and not once was I hurt in the fight. Like, you know, sort of robbed through everything. He did that. I mean, my chin, not once did he hurt me. He got on top of me, I think it was in the first or the second, but that was a slip. But every shot he threw clean, that hit me clean, there was no problem. So maybe the welterweights hit harder, I don't know.
Your teammate, Tom, impressive knockout earlier. He's Instagram messaged the Schmo. He wants that bonus. Can you vouch for him to get that bonus tonight?
Maybe me and him. I need 50 G's now. Now I just lost. Yeah, you know, Tom's on his own path now. He's here, and he's going to be a champion. I was sizing all the heavyweights up this week for him, just thinking, and I just don't see anyone there for him. Maybe for me, the top 3, Ngannou, DC and Stipe, but maybe DC's on his way out, and Stipe, I don't know, but Tom's a phenomenon. For his speed and size, it shouldn't be possible. He's going to be a champion, that's it.
Good morning, I guess, to everybody. Just want to kick off by expressing a few sentiments of gratitude. It took a hell of a lot of work to get Fight Island together, many months of planning and execution, and we couldn't have done it without our partners at the Abu Dhabi government, the DCT, Department of Culture and Tourism, a fantastic team that we got to work with, again, for many weeks leading into this event. Our partners on the broadcast side with Abu Dhabi Media and their product UFC Arabia, helping to bring MMA content, UFC content all across the region, not just here in Abu Dhabi. And I also want to say thanks to the several thousand people, the staff members here who worked within the safe zone. I'm not sure if it gets recognized enough, but a lot of people made a lot of sacrifices to quarantine for many weeks, to rehearse how the charter airplane pickups were going to work and the testing procedures. A hell of a lot of work went into it, and so I just wanted to say thanks to everybody. The bonuses tonight, we've got several. Aspinall, Chimaev, Craig, Verdum, and a couple of good Canadians in Bozer and Ronson. Each will receive $50,000.
I guess you had
John.
Yeah, I was gonna say quite a bit of nice things to kick off there. But now that we've got this kind of first run in the books of Fight Island, I mean, how would the company sum up the experience, the whole? Obviously, a big financial investment. I mean, is it a win? Are there lessons? How would you sum it up?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely a win. It was a great success, and I think if we look back at the Fight Island experience, I don't know, 5 years, 10 years, we're going to look back and say this was one of the most important moments in the UFC's history. In my view, this is one of the most progressive and ambitious endeavors that we've ever undertaken. You think about some of the other notable concepts like this that have flourished, like the Ultimate Fighter, Contender Series, getting into certain regions for the first time, like Russia, China. Our efforts in the performance institutes, not only in Las Vegas, but also in Shanghai, this is going to be regarded in that tier of, very progressive projects that I think are going to have a long-lasting effect, not only for our brand, but more importantly for our sport. And this really was, a pretty important catalyst, I feel, that's going to help propel mixed martial arts in the region for many years to come. So a great success all around. I believe our partners at the DCT believe so as well. We've had lots of conversations with them, heading into kind of a post-mortem. But overall, I think from Dana all the way to, our groups, everyone feels like this was a massive success.
I know we're all excited to get home and see our families, but the question is, when are we coming back? I mean, can you point to another day? Because it does seem like, Dana has said, look, this has got to keep happening for a while until the world changes again. So when do we come back?
Yeah, it's a really important question, and a question without an answer at this point. I think everyone's aware, we do need an opportunity to have some of the international athletes compete. Given the current state of coronavirus in the U.S. and many countries around the world, travel restrictions are not our friend. We're going to continue to look at opportunities around the world. Perhaps it makes sense to come back, but we're not sort of resting our laurels on this as the only opportunity. There has to be other opportunities for us. You need a very committed and willing partner. You need a partner that is going to invest in the operational and the infrastructure to make it happen. As stringent and rigorous as the testing procedures are, don't exist everywhere. And so we've got to make these decisions very carefully as we look to other options. But, we're going to continue to look for other options in 2020. It only makes sense because of the wealth of great talent that we've got all around the world.
And can you give us an update domestically with the Apex? Obviously, as we were leaving, we were kind of seeing the headlines getting bad and that sort of thing, and maybe we're heading towards another shutdown. But you've got a big lineup of events coming in August. So where do we stand there? Is there any concern that there might be cancellations or moves or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, we've got 9 events in August and 8 in September when you think about the UFC pay-per-views, the Fight Nights, and Contender Series. Here's the great thing about the last couple of months is, we really feel like we've blazed a trail, but we've learned a hell of a lot. So, Jacksonville feels like years, previous. It feels like years ago. And I think from Jacksonville to the first set of Apex events to now here in Abu Dhabi at Fight Island, we've learned a ton. And so what we're going to continue to do is improve the process. We're going to continue to prove, the health and safety regulations, especially with testing procedures, our operational framework, how many people work on the floor, what type of social distancing rules are required. And we're going to improve it to the point where, we can, confidently say that we can be as safe in the Apex in Las Vegas as we are here. Because I'm a firm believer, I don't believe there's any place on earth that's as safe as where we are right now. And there's no reason, given what we've been through in the last 3 weeks of Fight Island, that we can't replicate it to the same extent in Las Vegas.
And last thing for me, kind of an interesting moment tonight during the broadcast. A very passionate Dan Hardy was overheard kind of going at Herb Dean a little bit. We saw some photos. But just curious if you guys had any comment on that. I mean, obviously he was, battling for fighters, but I don't know how appropriate it is to do on air. I don't know. Do you have any comments on that?
Yeah. So, I wasn't on the floor when it happened. I was back in the office. I did hear some of the comments on the broadcast. Here's the thing, you know, being a ref in MMA is one of the hardest roles that you can have, and Herb Dean is one of our best categorically. You cannot, you know, bottom line is health and safety of the athletes is of paramount importance. On the other side, you got a guy like Cardi who, you know, very successful MMA career, an excellent analyst right now, but he's passionate, as you say, and he's fiery. So I think the important thing for us to do is try to get a handle and try to get an understanding of what actually happened. Obviously, this is not something that you address with either one of the parties during the show. These guys have a job to do, and so we certainly don't want to disrupt their efforts to do an excellent job, as we expect they always will. So we'll go back, we'll check it out, try to get a better understanding of what happened, and really sort of take it from there. But, you know, I guess the bottom line is there's one group of people that are able to talk to officials during a fight night, and that's Ratner's regulatory group, and no one else. So we'll see what happens next week when we get back to the office.
Yeah, just a quick one from me.
Hey.
You mentioned you were looking at other possible international places to go this year, in fact. Why would you go away from Abu Dhabi with what they've already got set up? Is that in pursuit of crowds or just because of locations?
No, I mean, I think there's a few things. I mean, you know, an effective partnership has to have two groups that are committed, and you know, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. And so this isn't, you know, a commentary on how far along we are on the process. This is just, you know, there's a lot of heavy lifting that needs to get done if we do want to replicate this. You know, God, if we could do this several times a year, we would. This has been absolutely phenomenal and one of the best experiences any of us have ever had. I mean, we had people, you know, who were on the ground here communicating with people who are back in their home cities, you know, about to depart to come to Fight Island, talking about how excited they were, right? And so for an athlete or an official or media members or whoever you are, UFC staff, you were here. There was a lot of work to do, but you know, there was also a long list, a multitude of things to enjoy yourself with here at Fight Island, whether it was, you know, the golf or the racing or the bikes or the beach. And so it was an incredible experience for everyone involved. And so we'd absolutely love to come back at any point. Yes, sir.
Sorry, what are the lessons do you think that you've learned from here that you could take to, like you said, to Las Vegas or maybe take somewhere else?
I mean, I think the big question is, you know, how do you effectively operate and maintain a bubble with integrity? And I think that's probably the most important thing because, you know, if anything went sideways, the whole thing crumbles. But I think, you know, again, the rigor and the intellect that was brought to not only the planning but the execution is the key driver in the overall success. No one was getting in and out, right? You know, I'm sure you guys were in double digits in terms of the number of tests that you've had in the last few weeks, pre-departure, arrival, end of quarantine or middle of quarantine, and then prior to every event. Those things take considerable financial investment. They take a considerable quality in the team that's operating and seeing these through. And I think the attention to that type or the adherence to that type of quality plan is what is the most important thing. You know, at the end of the day, we want to produce the most amazing fights that our viewers can see all around the world. But events like this don't happen unless you've got full adherence to an operational health and safety plan that, you know, is not compromised at all.
Given you've seen the provisions and the protocols that are in place, how far away are we from fans, do you think?
Well, it depends on what type of, what geography you're talking about, what country you're talking about. I've noticed, you know, in Europe, they're starting to have open-air events to a small number of fans, a few thousand people here or there. For us, it all depends on the destination. You know, I don't want to, you know, surmise what the outlook looks like in Las Vegas, but I do think it's probably a while in the U.S. It's probably a while in Canada. It's probably a while in Australia and a lot of other places. I'd have to ask our partners here how they feel about the opportunity. But, you know, I think we've kind of looked at 2020 and said, okay, we need to adapt to the current environment and make sure that we can plan events to be able to broadcast to our fans all around the world and deliver live content to our broadcast partners and not have any tickets sold. So our number one priority right now is to deliver live events when the time is right and we're confident that the operational framework can work in whatever region we want to go to, then that's when I think we make that decision.
Would you feel that Abu Dhabi would be a front runner, given that, as you said, everything's in place at the minute?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I mean, I think, we got to learn not only about, our counterparts at the Department of Culture and Tourism, but a lot about, some of the progressive investment that the government here in Abu Dhabi is making into health, into sports science, into AI and advanced data. And a lot of these things, you can see how they could work within the UFC world and what we want to try to do, advancing the tools that our athletes have and creating the right conditions for our athletes to compete in. So, I wouldn't be surprised if our partnership continues, for years to come outside of this, the original deal, which was the 5 events for 5 years.
Thank you.
All right, anything else, guys? I didn't want to say it off the top, but I want to say it right now. And I appreciate, and we appreciate from Dana and Lawrence and the rest of the crew, you guys have made a lot of sacrifices as well to be here. A lot of time away from the families, great distances traveled. So we appreciate each and every one of you and how much time you've put into making Fight Island a success. So thanks a lot.
Well, congratulations on the victory in a very entertaining fight. I mean, just give us a feeling. How are you feeling at this moment after a battle like that?
Yeah, good, I guess. Really, really good. Really relieved. Obviously, there was a lot of pressure and stresses going into this fight. And I'm just happy. We got the result that we came here for. I'm happy that the work trip was successful. I'm happy that I got to showcase more of my skill sets and open up. I got to fight adversity in the fight again. It is what it is. It was a great fight. Stressful fight.
Yeah, it's interesting. Stressful. Why? I mean, more so than another fight. What added to it?
Yeah, that was the most technical striking fight I've ever had. It was a chess match. I got a bit antsy in the first round, and he made me pay for it. And I just remember thinking, oh, not like this. But honestly, I got back up and was like, no, got to get back to work. Changed it up a little bit, and it was just a chess match from then. He was waiting for me to come in. I was waiting for him to come in. Yeah.
How certain were you about the scores? Because when the fight ended, I think we all kind of looked at each other and thought, this is a really, really close fight.
No, I understood that it was a very close fight. I think the second round was definitely mine. Third round, fourth round could have gone either way, but I think I showed my championship level mentality and experience in that last round, especially when it was so close in the hands on the stand-up game, and then to finish it off, taking him down was, I think a big boon in the scorecards for me.
Last thing for me, I know you've got some time playing video games coming up, I guess, for a couple of weeks by yourself, but what do you want to do now? I mean, we know that, that you said there was pressure, there's, nice to get a break. Now you want to go back to the family. Are you thinking about where I rank in the division? How do I get a title shot? Is that on your mind at all?
Not really, to be honest. My biggest thing right now is I want to go back home to my babies, to my wife, and just, that's why I do all this. It's why I can do what I do. It's because of them. Honestly, I am championship level. Everyone can see that. Everyone's always known that. I wasn't myself last fight. I believe that. Not to take anything away from him. He's a great striker, but I wasn't myself last fight. I think there's a good win. I'm a champion without the belt, with the belt. Doesn't matter. It is what it is. And I'm looking forward to getting back to work and just seeing how that next fight goes.
Hey, Rob. Just how hurt were you in the first round?
Yeah, not really.
Are you
No, it shocked me. It put me on my ass. It's one of those shots. Happens. You see it happen a lot in fights, and it was just a well-timed shot, and I had to get back up, slow things down, regroup, and then just get back to work, take advantage of that.
Are you aware that you hurt his knee in round 2?
No, like how?
He needs surgery on it, he thinks.
Like with what? What do I do?
He stomped on his
The
knee.
stomp?
And he said he heard the whole knee just pop right away.
Gonna stomp more often.
He actually says now he thinks they should be banned, but he's joking.
I want soccer kicks back. So honestly, it's a weapon I utilize. I think it's a tricky kick. I think you have to time it well. I think the accuracy of that kick has to be done well. Obviously, I did it from a switch stance, so I threw it with my right leg, if I'm not mistaken. So it was a bit off-putting, a bit trickier. That's the chess match. That's the chess fight. That's why it was so technical, is because we were both trying to wait for each other, to counter each other, to wait for each other to open up so that we could capitalize on each other's holes. That's why I had to chip away at his defenses from the outside. I had the calf kick, I had to stomp, I had to work on the outside. Not only does it do damage, but it also racks up in the scorecards.
When he spoke about the judge's decision, he just said, look, it's one of those things where you had the volume, but he had the power shots, and it's whichever the way the judges look at it that night. Would you agree with that assessment?
Mate, it was a close fight. It was a close fight. I think the takedowns weighed a lot. I think honestly, who knows how the judges score things? It could have gone his way, and I'd be whinging right now. It is what it is. It's exactly as you said. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. I went out there, I laid it on the line, I displayed my skill case, and yeah, I got the result.
Yeah, he said he felt like you were both winners and that you both sort of won.
Yeah, honestly, he's a great fighter. He's a great fighter. There was a very high caliber fight, and yeah, he's exactly right. We came here. He's exactly right. Look where we are. Look what we do for a work. Look what we do for a living. This is amazing. We're some of the luckiest people in the world, and yeah, he may have lost the result tonight, but he's still a winner.
And last one for me, just exactly what did you guys say to each other in the octagon? It looks like you're having a good chat and you're sort of joking around about the twitchiness and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a stressful fight. We're both waiting for each other to have a go. It's we both knew the game. We both knew the stakes. It was a technical fight, and it was stressful. It was stressful because we were both waiting, trying to bait the other guy to come in. Yeah, I can't explain it. I can't explain to you guys how stressful it is.
Just a quick one for me, Robin. What exactly do you see next for you? The middleweight division. You have Adesanya and Costa fighting next. You have a couple of the names trying to get the next shot. You, like you said, you're the champion with or without the belts. But do you see a clear path for you now after this win?
Well, yeah, I'm championship level. I'm ready for a championship fight right now, whenever, tomorrow, last night. It doesn't matter. I'm championship level. That's just the level. I displayed that tonight. That's just the level I'm at. I'm always ready for a championship title shot. That's just me.
If you don't get the title shot right now, which option do you think is the best for you?
To be honest, I don't care. Never have. That's why the UFC like me so much. Because they line them up, I knock them down. That's the plan. I believe as fighters, we shouldn't be picking and choosing who we fight. We just fight who they put in front of us. Eventually, you have to fight them all. You know, and that's the game. Honestly, my biggest thing right now is I want to go home, man. I want to go see my family. Not much else matters right now.
Robert, here. During the fight, I noticed that for a lot of times you were moving your right leg. What was that? Do you have any injuries, or was just?
No, it's a habit I have. So, you mean when my right leg hits my left leg? Yeah, no, that's so. It's a bad habit I have. So what I do is I use a sweat on my left leg to get traction on my right foot.
And
To be honest, it just makes things slippery. I don't know why I fucking do it. Sorry, I don't know why I do it.
Okay, so and before the fight, Darren Till said that he would be ready to step in just in case Costa or Adesanya steps out for an injury or anything else. Would you be open if UFC offers to you the idea of being like a plan B for September?
Yeah, that's a great time. Like, we have a bunch of guys, Jacob and Izzy, who are going to prepare for that time. Hopefully we can all get on the same card around time. I'll be preparing around that time. So if we can all get on the same card, that would be great. We have a team. We're all getting ready. And we'll be ready. We're always ready. Jacob was ready this week, in case Darren pulled out. so yeah, you know, it's a fun journey.
Robert, right here. Did you get a chance to see Khamzat Chimaev, who fought twice in 2 UFC events within just 10 days? He competed at both at welterweight and middleweight division. And what's your impression of him?
That dude's unreal. He just destroyed his opponents twice in 2 weeks. Like, got to give it to him. That guy's a savage. And his dedication to just staying on weight and then fighting someone bigger and then going down the welterweight to fight someone, got to give it to him. They don't make him like that anymore.
So would you be open to face him?
He's a welterweight. I hope he stays there.
He said he wanted to be a champion in 2 weight classes.
Oh, well. Maybe he'll do welterweight first. Who knows? Who knows? Like, that's an ambitious journey. There's a lot of fighting he's got to do. You know what I mean? I'll worry about it when it happens. It's a bit silly of me to start making plans for that now.